Hey everyone, I felt called to come on here today with a video that I'm titling Stop Consuming the World's Filth. Stop consuming the world's filth. I want to try to. The goal here really is to try to convict this right here. The goal is to get our hearts convicted about the lives that we're leading so that we're not leading these anesthetized lives where we're consuming the filth that the world tries to give us. When I look at the world today, when I look around and I see some of the themes and some of the narratives that are playing out on our planet, what I see a lot of is the consumption of filth. I'm guilty of this myself. I'm far from a great example of what it looks like to not consume filth. But this is a struggle that I find myself in, and I think that we all find ourselves in collectively as a species, is something like, how do we get ourselves out of this mess? How do we stop consuming the filth of the world so that we can produce better outcomes for the future of our species, of our collective human family, so to speak? So I watched a very little bit of this presidential debate last night in the United States, and I felt like offering my perspective on what I saw. I saw garbage being dished out to the masses. I saw absolute trash being served up on a platter and offered to human beings as something that we're supposed to willingly accept and agree to and be enthusiastic about. And this is filth. This is the filth that I'm talking about when I say that we need to reject the world's filth. Staying with this particular example, people in the United States in this upcoming presidential election are being presented with these two options. And we're told so much about the differences between these two options. We're constantly propagandized towards and spoon-fed all of this information about how these two options are different. So which of these two different options would you like? This is a trap. This is a trap. And we should try to realize that it's a trap. Something most of us probably spend very little time actually thinking about is, okay, I hear a lot of differences between these two options, but in what ways are they both the same? In what ways are they not different? When we look at these two options that we're given, these garbage, this is garbage, you guys. Like, this is filth that we're being served up. And I say that without any bias towards either side of this particular political spectrum, whether you like this side over here or this side over here. I say it's all filth. It's all filth. So please receive this criticism I have of this particular form of politics that we have in the world today as a criticism of all of it, as a criticism of the entire system. I'm not partial to any of it. I don't see very much redeeming virtuous qualities in really, quite frankly, any of it. I think it's all nonsense. And I want to substantiate why I feel that way, okay? When I see these two options that are being presented today, I see this form of hypnosis that is being played on the species. It's an illusion. It's a trap. It's like, imagine someone comes along and is like, okay, it's time for you to exercise your freedom. It's time for you to exercise your democratic rights. And it's time for you to make a choice. Would you like McDonald's or Burger King? Where I want to convict you, the viewer, today, is that when this trickster energy comes into our lives from the beast system of the world, when we're served up these two options, option A or option B, which one are you going to choose? I want to convict you that you're being preyed upon by demons. This is a freaking trap, okay? This is a trap. And the correct way to respond to this trap, I want to submit, is to do the following. When that entity comes along to you and says, hey there, time for you to, participate in this democracy that, of course, people have died. People have died so that you can participate in this democracy, right? So, which option would you like? Would you like McDonald's or would you like Burger King? What I want to see more people do is to say, I don't want either of that. I don't want any of it because it's garbage and I don't want to consume garbage. I don't want to put garbage into my life, and I don't want to endorse that one form of this garbage is better than the other form of this garbage. And so now I'm going to play along in this illusion where I'm saying, I prefer this garbage. This is the garbage that I prefer. I don't like this other garbage over here. And then you've got other people who are saying, no, this garbage over here is the better option, Folks, we can just stop participating in this system. We can stop playing in this game where we're dealt these two options and essentially hypnotized into believing that we have no authority, sovereignty, autonomy, dignity. I mean, this is a humiliation ritual at its core. When I was watching this debate last night, I was like, this is a freaking humiliation ritual. Like, you're telling me that the most powerful empire in the history of the world, with the most powerful military might in the history of the world, the greatest minds, the best technological advancements, like the height of millennia of human evolution and growth is this. You're telling me this is as good as it gets. That this system cannot produce anything better than these two options right here. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that. I will not believe that, and I will not participate in a system that tells me that I need to believe that in order to, be a upstanding member of society. So I choose neither. I choose that I will not participate in this filth, this garbage system. I think democracy itself and the underpinnings of, the U.S. itself in terms of its founding documents and its founding beliefs, there's a lot of good stuff there. There's a lot of stuff there worth trying to somehow redeem and claim back for ourselves. Like actual real democracy where people's voices actually matter. Did you know, and you ought to know if you don't know, did you know that who you vote for doesn't affect anything at all? Did you know that? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. The whole purpose of you voting is to get you to endorse a system that keeps you right where you're at. The whole purpose of voting is to get you to participate in a ritual that says, yes, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with every 4 years, this beast system comes up to me and says, option A or option B. When you choose one of those options, you are saying, I submit. I submit to this. This is agreeable to me. I don't wish to stand for anything else. And I'm just going to make do with what I'm being offered here. I'm going to go with the Big Mac or I'm going to go with the Whopper, depending on how I'm feeling that time around. And, that's just life. That's as good as it can get. And I'm not going to try to live in any sort of way that insists that there might be, like a beautiful, premium, delicious, grass-fed, organic burger waiting for me out there somewhere in the hypothetical future that we could be living in. I'm just going to say, no, give me your industrial process propagandized garbage. That's not even entertaining, folks. I mean, like, yeah, like if this particular form of politics that we see unfolding in America today, if it is nothing other than just a form of bread and circus entertainment just to keep the masses dumbed down and dulled and submissive and obedient and just going along with things, not paying attention to what's really going on in the world, but instead just falling for a trick, literally a satanic deception where, no, don't look over there where we're pillaging, murdering, stealing, destroying, and just like doing all sorts of horrible crimes against humanity. Don't look there. Look over here. Look over here instead. That's the trick that is being played on people. And it's a very, 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 very seductive and powerful and hypnotic trick. I myself, I'm not, even with the level of awareness that I'm expressing, sometimes I fall for that trick for a moment, A good example, the assassination attempt on one of these presidential candidates. I'm not even going to say their names. They won't get their names coming out of my mouth. They don't deserve that. One of these candidates and the assassination attempt that occurred, for a moment, that worked to get me to be like, oh, I'm going to pay attention over here. This is interesting. What's going on here? Seems like quite fascinating, actually. Oh my gosh. And I started noticing myself getting a little entangled into this beast system again. I noticed myself being kind of pulled out of my own sovereignty and into being a stakeholder into this garbage system that we have in our country. Okay, so suppose you're following along here and maybe you're agreeing with some of what I'm saying, but you're not really convinced that it's garbage, right? You're kind of saying like, hey now, what's really so bad about a Big Mac, right? Like, what's so bad about a Whopper? Like, are you sure this is really as bad as you're making it sound like? I'll say this, okay? Currently, the government of the United States is endorsing and supporting murder. This is a murderous system. It murders innocent people. I shouldn't need to say anything more than that for you to be convicted that this is a garbage system. This is not a just system. It's not a fair system. It's not a system worth defending. If you notice yourself defending this system, you really ought to sit down with yourself and question, like, why am I defending this system? You know, is this system going to stand the test of time? Is this system on the right side of history when future, hopefully more awakened, and when I say awakened, I mean connected to the heart, a heart cracked open civilization of the future will look on the system that we have today and it won't find anything redeeming about it. It'll be horrified. People will be like, that was horrifying. Just like we do today with Nazi Germany. We look back and we're like, how could that happen? How could something like that happen? We're living in the how could something like that happen days today, now. And we're participating in it. We're participating in it by having opinions about which one of these two options is better and which one am I going to go with and who do I hope to win. Let me close a thought that I had started earlier, which was that if the point of this system is to do nothing other than to distract us, to flip us from paying attention to what really matters and to distract us, just like movies, just like sports, just like everything else is meant to distract us and keep us entertained and dumbed down and just kind of pacified and submissive and obedient and just going along with the system and living our, simple, normal little lives and not causing too much trouble and just kind of letting the years pass on by and, hopefully this will all be over soon. Let's not cause any fuss. Let's not make life hard on ourselves here. We're just going to try to get to the grave in like as smooth and easy of a way as possible. If that's what this politics is meant to do, if that's the function of this politics, which is in other words, effectively just to keep us in a trance, to keep us entertained, and just to keep us sort of like, whatever, just like, whatever. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do. I ain't going to stop you. If that's the point of this system, I would say that even in that case, this system sucks. It sucks, you guys. Like, it's not even good bread and circus entertainment. Like, my goodness. Are you kidding? These are the two best people that we can get on a stage to somehow keep us all like feeling like good things are happening and that we're engaged and that this is like interesting and like, no, these are two people whose intellects in both cases, I'm not being discriminatory or prejudiced towards one or the other of them at all. In both cases, these are people whose intellects, whose spiritual life and their matters of the heart, and whose physical, fortitude and wherewithal, we ought not to look up to either one of them for any of those things. They're underwhelming in every category imaginable. And yet, we're going to participate in this system. We're going to go to the polls and choose one of these two options. Why? Why? Do we really not respect ourselves? Are we really that down bad that we will participate in a humiliation ritual such as voting for one of these two major party candidates? Like, come on, folks. Come on. I mean, this is sad. It's pitiful. The church doesn't help out at all with this. The church is a part of this system that I'm talking about, which is just keep everyone dumbed down, submissive, obedient, blind, enslaved, not paying attention to what's really going on, and just kind of shuffling along, paying their taxes, doing their whatever, being these docile, obedient sort of citizenry, in the case of the church, with a little sprinkling of some kind of faith or spiritual life, little sprinkling of it on top there, so that, you know, those folks who choose that path can go to sleep at night and give themselves a little pat on the back and feel like they're doing good. Is this how Christ taught us to live? Is this type of a lifestyle anywhere in the Bible? Is this how the disciples were living when they were being martyred and persecuted for their faith and for their beliefs and for their defending of the truth? How many people in our modern world are at risk of becoming martyrs for their defense of the truth? Nobody. Freaking nobody, man. There's like 400 million people in America, and maybe like 30 of them need to watch their backs. You know, like nobody is like putting any skin into the game here. We have a politics in the United States of America where something like 1% of the popular vote in November will be for presidential candidates who oppose the ethnic cleansing taking place in Gaza. This is a condemnation of the hearts of the American people. And it's not just American people, this is people all over the world. But this particular video is coming after the hearts of American people. The hearts of American people are frozen so solid that they've turned into stone, such that 99% of all of the votes that get cast in November are going to be for a presidential candidate that endorses genocide. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about right here, that humans will look back on with a shock and horror. People will be like, 1% of the voters voted for somebody who actually was trying to stop this thing from happening? That's how frozen over, asleep, heads in the sand, and just completely like given over to this satanic beast system the American population is. I mean, this is sad, y'all. This is sad. It makes me feel sad. I feel sad. As a US citizen, I feel sad to pay attention and to see what's really going on. To pay attention and to see, you know, there are some people whose hearts have been convicted along these lines of what I'm saying here, but those people are like a very small minority for the most part. And even those who have had their hearts convicted, many of them are still going to head to the polls and choose between one of these two garbage options because they don't feel like they have any other choice. They don't feel like they feel like they must do so in order for their vote to matter, or whatever the stories or the justifications are. Think about what matters in God's eyes, you know? God is watching our behavior, right? God is saying, what did this person stand for in this life? I gifted life to this human being and I gave them free will. What did they do with it? You know, what did they do with it? I think that this is how God operates and looks at us. God is watching. God wants to see what we're going to do with our votes, with our lives, with our choices, with the things that we'll stand for, speak out against, defend. What do you think God thinks when he sees you shuffle off to the polls in November and vote for one of these two beast system party candidates that, whether you choose the Whopper or you choose the Big Mac, either way, you're getting genocide. Either way, you're getting the expansion of the police state all over the world and the militarization of the world. Either way, you're getting endless, infinite wars, so a small number of people can become obscenely rich while everyone else suffers and dies. You're getting that. Whichever option you choose, that you get for sure. You're going to say yes to that? You're going to sign up for that. I think there's consequences to this. I really do. I believe there are consequences to doing this. I believe that those consequences can and will be experienced in the afterlife, when we have to give an account of our lives, when we have to testify before God who we are and what we did with our one sweet precious life that he gave us. We'll have to answer. We have to answer for everything. God is going to be like, when there were children being slaughtered by bombs that your government was providing, why did you just go along with that? You know, why did you just say, yeah, that's okay. I'm not really that bothered by that. Or, you know, maybe I'm bothered by it like this much, but, you know, it's not really that important to me. There's like 1,000 other things that are more important to me than that. You know, those people, they're way over there. You know, their problems are not my problems. That's the way over there people. I don't really care about the way over there people. How long before the way over there people and what they're experiencing, how long before we're experiencing it too? You know? How long before it's the bombs being dropped on us instead of on them? We just take for granted that that could never happen, right? Oh, that could never happen to me. I live in the safest and the most secure country, ever, and I'm American, like this idea of American privilege, that we're always just going to be okay. We're always safe. Nothing ever bad would happen to us. Like, I think that assumption is a risky one to always make. And I think it's wise for people to kind of snap out of the collective form of hypnosis that this particular world beast system, empirical dominator culture paradigm has instilled into our minds. It's a matter of the heart and it's a matter of the mind. We have to heal these organs right here. We have to, and I'm on this journey, by the way. So I want you to know that as I'm saying these things, I am not coming on here claiming to have, reached some kind of a destination here. No way. It's a process. It's a journey. And that journey is called life. And that journey involves trying to open this right here. Trying to get this thing online so that it's open, cracked open, not frozen, not thawed, not completely closed off, but a little bit open. Okay, it's open now. It's open, it's a little bit open. Better than being completely closed. We've got it a little bit open. Okay, now what? Now, let's let this inform this. It's not bad. This is not our enemy. This is very powerful and it can be used for good things. But we want this to be in service to this right here. So we want to get this open, at least somewhat. Get this cracked open somewhat. It doesn't have to be perfectly wide open. You don't have to be the most loving, Christ-like avatar in human history where you're just, your heart, you are only heart. You are only all heart. No. Don't even aim that high. Don't aim towards perfection. Aim towards improvement. Aim towards getting this thing right here a little bit more open than it was before. And when you're feeling that, let it inform your thinking. Let it inform your worldview. Let it inform the way that you see the world and what you see going on in the world. If we can do this, we can actually start to knit and to stitch some type of real, genuine, beautiful momentum into the world. We can start to kind of push something, even if it's very small, very slight, very localized, very personal. The goal here is to not, lead some kind of revolution. The goal here is to participate in your own personal revolution of your own heart that allows you to offer some kind of fruits to the world, some kind of flowers that can blossom out of your life, that can lead to a better future for your children, for your grandchildren, a better future for your neighbors, a better future for the people, the way over there people who are digging their family members out of craters right now caused by bombs that your government sent to them to have dropped on them. We can do a little better than what we're seeing today. We can do a little better than these two garbage options that were presented. And that's my message. That's the message I have here today. My message is one of offering you a sense of personal empowerment so that you can feel validated in a decision to not participate. You do not have to participate in this particular system that we see playing out. It's not a requirement. It doesn't matter. Your vote does not matter. The people you're voting for don't care about you. You are not their constituent. They are not thinking about you. They're not thinking about how to make your life better. They only have to dole out tiny amounts of appeasement to the masses. Just a little here and a little there. We'll keep this banned and we'll unban this thing over here. And it's garbage. It's junk food. These people are not your friends. They don't care about you. They don't think about you, and you're not their constituents. You cannot influence their policies. Your vote does not matter. Your vote does not influence the policies of the future. It does not matter. And so if we can at least accept that, maybe we can get a little bit of space. I know that this is like kind of a hard thing to accept if you have not previously, entered into this sort of awareness before. But when you actually accept that nothing at all whatsoever is being influenced by who I vote for, that gives you a little bit of space away from this system to start to try to do something with your life other than just to continue to submit yourselves over to a system and a world that is offering you garbage all the time. I'm going to leave it there. God bless you. Take care.